So at the very beginning of 2026, two massive acquisitions totaling over $22 billion completely redrew the map of the AI landscape. Now, these weren't just big, flashy deals. They were incredibly strategic moves that pulled back the curtain on a whole new battlefield for the future of artificial intelligence. We're about to break down exactly what happened, why it's so important, and what it all means for the next chapter in tech.
All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll set the stage and look at this new AI battlefield. Then we'll dive right into Meta's $2 billion bet on a new type of AI. We'll even get into the surprising global story behind that deal. After that, we're shifting gears to Nvidia's enormous $20 billion play. And finally, we'll connect all the dots and see how these two moves are really part of one single grand strategy.
You see, the race in AI has fundamentally changed. It's no longer just about who can build the biggest, most powerful language model. The competition is now a full-blown war being fought on two totally new fronts. The first is the battle to control the user interface, basically how we all interact with AI. And the second is the battle to own the silicon, the actual hardware that powers it all.
So let's start with that first front, the user interface. This is where Meta just made a huge play by acquiring a company called Manus. This whole move is about them trying to own the way we're all going to be using AI for years to come.
And get this, the price tag was over $2 billion. That's not just a casual investment. That is a massive statement from Meta. They're betting that the entire future of their platforms, Facebook, Instagram, all of it, depends on mastering this new kind of AI interaction.
So for $2 billion, Meta bought into something called Agentic AI. The best way to think about it is this. Instead of just asking a chatbot for information, like, what are the best flights to Tokyo, you just tell an AI agent, book me the best flight to Tokyo for next Tuesday. You see the difference? The agent doesn't just talk, it acts. Manus's AI technology does this by literally writing and running code in real time to get stuff done.
And the reason Manus was worth so much is that their growth was just off the charts. I mean, look at this timeline. They launched in March of 2025. 1 month later, they're already valued at $500 million. And by the end of the year, they're on pace to make $125 million in revenue. That kind of explosive growth is almost unheard of, and it explains why Meta was willing to pay a premium.
This really gets to the strategic heart of the deal for Meta. They weren't just buying cool tech, they bought proof that people will actually use these AI agents. Now with 3 billion users across its apps, Meta can plug this powerful agent right into the platforms people already use every single day. The best tech in the world doesn't matter if nobody uses it. Meta just bought themselves a massive head start in distribution.
But you know, the Manus story is about more than just its crazy growth. It's also a really fascinating story about the geopolitics of talent, and it shines a spotlight on a major trend happening in the global AI scene.
You see, Manus was actually founded in China, but they knew that in that super competitive market, any successful product gets copied almost instantly. So they made a really smart strategic move. They relocated their core team of engineers to Singapore. This gave them the breathing room they needed to build their product and grow a user base without getting cloned overnight, and that made them incredibly valuable to a company like Meta.
And this story perfectly illustrates this powerful trend. While the huge market in China is an amazing training ground for talent, we're seeing more and more of the most ambitious founders looking outside the country to build their global companies. Manus isn't some one-off thing, it's basically the new playbook.
Okay, so that covers the software interface. Now let's pivot to the second front in this AI war, the foundational hardware. This is where an even bigger deal went down, with Nvidia making a huge move to control that silicon layer.
And if you thought $2 billion was a lot, the price tag here is just staggering. $20 billion. That's what Nvidia paid in a deal for the chipmaker Grok. To give you some context, that's in the same league as when Facebook bought WhatsApp. It's a massive, massive number. And it tells you that Nvidia saw something absolutely essential in this company.
To get why this deal is so important, you need to understand two key jobs in AI: training and inference. Training is like sending an AI to college. It's this long, super intensive process, and it's what Nvidia's famous GPUs are amazing at. But inference, that's when the AI actually uses its degree to give you an answer. And for those AI agents we talked about to feel magical, that answer has to be instant. For that kind of speed, you need a totally different kind of chip.
And this is exactly where Grok comes in. Their chips are purpose-built for one thing: unbelievable speed. They can be up to 10 times faster for inference. So by buying Grok's tech, and its founder, who actually invented Google's TPU. Nvidia isn't just taking out a competitor. It's acquiring a specialized architecture to completely dominate the fastest-growing part of the AI hardware market: instant, low-latency inference.
But here's the really brilliant part. This move isn't just about Nvidia protecting its market share. It's about setting up this amazing feedback loop, a powerful economic cycle where one part of their business just feeds the other.
Here's how this beautiful cycle works. First, Nvidia uses Grok's tech to make inference incredibly fast and cheap for everyone. Because it's fast and cheap, developers build way more AI agent apps and we all start using them. Then, as millions of people use these agents, the demand for even smarter, more powerful AI models just explodes. And that leads directly to step 4, a massive increase in the need for Nvidia's most profitable products, their high-end training GPUs. By making inference cheap, they actually create more demand for their core business. It's genius.
So now, let's just pull the camera back for a second. When you look at these two huge deals together, you start to realize they aren't separate events at all. They're two halves of the exact same strategy for winning the future of AI.
This table really lays it all out. On one side, you've got Meta dropping $2 billion on Manus to control the software, the user interface layer. And on the other side, you have Nvidia spending 10 times that on Grok to control the hardware, the silicon layer. It's a two-pronged attack to own both the screen we look at and the engine that makes it all work.
Ultimately, what these two blockbuster acquisitions make perfectly clear is that the game has completely changed. The next phase of the AI war won't be won by just having the smartest algorithm. It's going to be won by the companies that control the entire ecosystem, from the software on your screen all the way down to the silicon humming away in a data center. That is the new battlefield.